Before we dive into this terrifying story, please turn off the lights around you completely and use headphones. Jack decided to drive quietly so as not to harm his new car. Suddenly, as Jack was driving, a girl appeared in front of him, covering her face with her hand. The girl looked extremely frightened. She began to hit the window of Jack's car, saying, "Please open the door and take me with you. Please save me." Jack asked, "What's going on? What happened to you, miss?" The girl replied, "No time for explanations. They will come for us at any moment. Let's escape from here before it's too late." Jack didn't hesitate to let the girl into the car because she seemed very anxious, or might have seen something terrifying in the area. As soon as the girl entered the car, 4 figures appeared in front of Jack. He scrutinized the 4 beings, and to his surprise, they were not really humans. They were almost 4 disfigured faces. Their hair was not thick. They were looking at the car and holding frightening weapons. One of them had a sword in his hand, another held 2 knives, one in each hand. The biggest and most terrifying looking one had an electric saw in his hand, and the last one was holding a cleaver. Jack felt extreme fear and kept repeating only one sentence. "Who are these? Are they even human?" The girl said, "Please, let's escape from here. They will come for us, and if they do, we might not be able to survive. We'll lose our lives. Please, reverse the car and let's escape quickly." These words woke Jack up, and he immediately moved the car backward to flee from those strange entities. As the car moved, those beings started moving towards the car. The sight of these beings moving towards the car was terrifying, and each of them had a frightening weapon in their hands. Despite being confident that he could escape, especially since there was no other way, the sight of those beings made Jack's heart race to the extreme. Jack managed to escape with the car and returned to his senses. He decided to ask the girl what happened to her and how she ended up here. She answered with her hand still covering her face out of fear, "My car broke down here, and these 4 stopped me. I couldn't keep my composure, so I decided to leave the car and run away." Jack reassured her, saying, "Don't worry, I will take you to your home, and you will be safe." The girl told Jack about some shortcut routes that would quickly lead her to her home. Jack agreed and followed the strange and desolate routes indicated by the girl. The roads appeared abandoned, as if no life existed there. Jack began to have doubts about the girl, but he tried to calm himself, thinking that she might be in shock, which made her unable to remember the way. At that moment, all she could think about was escaping from this area and the specific road. 2 hours passed, and the girl kept pointing to eerie and deserted roads. Suddenly, Jack looked back and discovered that the girl was still covering her face. There was a visible part of her face, but it seemed disfigured. Jack stopped the car and said, "It seems you've lost your way. I will drive to the nearest police station, and they will surely help you get home." The girl replied, "No, we've reached my home directly to your right." Jack looked at the house, and it was a huge shock. The house looked shattered and abandoned, with no signs of life. Fear began to creep into Jack's heart once again, but it subsided somewhat when the girl got out of the car calmly and said, "Thank you, sir, for giving me a ride." Then the girl headed towards the house. Suddenly, Jack heard strange noises coming from beneath the car. The unsettling part was that 2 bizarre-looking figures appeared, who were also disfigured. They began to hit the car's windows with force, making Jack extremely frightened and unable to concentrate. The next day, when the village learned that Jack hadn't arrived, they decided to go and search for him. The villagers reached the old house where Jack's car was located. The car was intact, but all the tires were punctured, and the front window was completely shattered. They continued their efforts to find Jack everywhere in the area, but as of today, there is no trace of him. It's as if the earth swallowed Jack. Everyone has lost hope of finding Jack again, and this road has been deemed unfit, and no one has walked on it again. One day, the older sister was studying late at night, and when she came downstairs in the house to bring her something easy to eat and drink, she was surprised by the sound of her little brother talking to someone. She approached his bedroom and found the door slightly open. She approached to see her brother sleeping on the floor of the room and looking on, at the foot of the bed and talking as if he was looking at someone. The sister entered his room to check on him, and as soon as he felt her, He pretended that he was watching television. His sister went and finished what she was doing. Several nights later, she was surprised by him waking her up from her sleep and holding an empty cup in his hand, asking her to make him a cup of chocolate milk. The sister woke up and actually went down to make him milk as he requested, and she prepared herself a cup of hot coffee so that she could stay up for a long time to study. But when she was in his bedroom, she found him falling into a deep sleep. She woke him up to give him milk, but she was astonished when he informed her that he had not asked her for anything. She smiled lightly and wanted to make him sit on his bed and drink milk, but she was shocked when she found him in nightwear other than the one she had seen just before. She ignored the topic, but it remained in her mind. She put the cup of milk next to him and left the room. After a few days, she heard his voice talking to someone again. She nodded, but this time she saw a great shadow in the middle of his bedroom, dominated by blackness. She rushed to her brother and asked her, "Who are you talking to now?" He appeared disturbed, but he could not tell her anything. She went to her parents, woke them up from her sleep, and told them everything that was happening with their young son, and about all the situations she had seen with him. So the parents went to their child, who told them about the identity of the unknown thing that spoke to him every night. And the child had called him the Taker because every time he came to him, he took something from him before he left. And indeed there were many things disappearing from the house for no reason.